If a polynomial has four terms that do not have a common factor, then try factoring the expression by grouping the terms into pairs with common factors. So let's say we had the polynomial x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 15. There isn't a singular factor that can be removed from all four of these terms. However, if we group together the first two terms, x cubed minus 5x squared, they do have a common factor of x squared. And for the second pair of terms, if we group those together, they have a common factor of 3. So by grouping, we can actually create two sets of pairs, and they individually have a greatest common factor that can be removed. So you would be asked to factor by grouping and check the answer of x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 15. The first thing you want to do is create two groups with common factors. So we have one group here, x cubed minus 5x squared, that each have a common factor of x squared. And we have a second group here, 3x minus 15, that have a common factor of 3. And now that we've created two sets of terms, we want to remove the greatest common factor from both sets of terms. So from this set, we have a common term of x squared that can be removed. Once we remove x squared, the second factor will be the result of dividing this term by x squared, which will give us x cubed divided by x squared, which is x, and negative 5x squared divided by x squared is negative 5. Same thing with this set of terms. Once you remove 3, we can figure out the next factor by dividing each term here by 3, giving us 3x divided by 3, which is x, and negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. And now we have two different terms, one here, and we want to remove the greatest common factor. Both of them have a factor of x minus 5 that we can remove. When we remove x minus 5 from each one of these, we get x minus 5 as one factor. The second factor will be the remaining terms that were left once we removed x minus 5. So we combine x squared and positive 3 to give us our second factor. So when you factor x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 15, you'll get x squared plus 3 times x minus 5. And now the fourth step, you check the answer by multiplying the factors to confirm that these are the factors for our original polynomial. And when we do so, we get x squared times x, which is x cubed. Then we get x squared times negative 5, which is negative 5x squared. Then we have 3 times x, which is 3x. And we have 3 times negative 5, which is negative 15. So since our final polynomial matches our original polynomial, that confirms that we correctly factored it, giving us x squared plus 3 times x minus 5. Let's now have you try a few practice questions. Question number 1, factor by grouping 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15x minus 30, and then check the answer. Question number 2, factor by grouping 4x cubed plus 8x squared minus 9x minus 18, and then check the answer. In question number 3, factor by grouping 6x cubed minus 16x squared plus 21x minus 56, and then check the answer. Pause the video, answer these questions, and then press play when you are ready to begin. Question number 1, we were given 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15x minus 30. Step 1, create two groups with common factors. So we want to group together the first set of terms, and we want to group together the third and fourth terms. Y, 3x cubed minus 6x squared have a common factor of 3x squared. The coefficients have a common factor of 3. The variables have a common factor of x squared. When you divide 3x cubed by 3x squared, you get x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X cubed divided by x squared is x. And when we divide the second term by the common factor, we get negative 6 divided by 3, which is negative 2. X squared divided by x squared is 1, so that cancels out. So 3x cubed minus 6x squared is equivalent to 3x squared times x minus 2. And we have 15x minus 30. We can remove 15 from each of these. 15x divided by 15 gives you x. And negative 30 divided by 15 is negative 2. So once we remove the greatest common factor from both sets of terms, we wind up with 3x squared times x minus 2 plus 15 times x minus 2. And we see that both of these terms have a common factor of x minus 2. So we want to remove that common factor, giving us x minus 2. And the remaining terms create a factor, 3x squared plus 15. Step 4, check the answer by multiplying the factors. The final polynomial that we get must match the original polynomial to confirm that these are the factors. When we multiply the factors, we get 3x squared times x, which is 3x cubed. Then we have 3x squared times negative 2, which gives us negative 6x squared. Then we have 15 times x, which gives us 15x. And lastly, we have 15 times negative 2, which gives us negative 30. And since our original polynomial and our final polynomial are matches, that confirms that we found the correct factors, which are 3x squared plus 15 and x minus 2. So that's the answer for question number 1. Let's now have a look at question number 2. We were given 4x cubed plus 8x squared minus 9x minus 18. Step 1, create two groups with common factors. Our first group we'll create with our first two terms. The second group we'll create will be with terms 3 and 4. So we put a pair of parentheses around the first two terms, add an addition sign, and then a pair of parentheses around terms 3 and 4. So the negative stays inside the parentheses here. And now step 2, remove the greatest common factor from both sets of terms. So 4x cubed plus 8x squared have a common factor of 4x squared. The coefficients 4 and 8 have a common factor of 4. The variables x cubed and x squared have a common factor of x squared. The second factor would then be 4x cubed divided by 4x squared, which would be x. 4 divided by 4 is 1. X cubed divided by x squared is x. 1 times x is x. Divide the second term by the common factor, giving us 8 divided by 4, which is 2. X squared divided by x squared is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. So we get 4x squared times x plus 2 here. For our second set of terms, negative 9x minus 18 have a common factor of negative 9, which we remove, leaving us with negative 9x divided by negative 9, which is x, and negative 18 divided by negative 9 is positive 2 on the inside. And now we see here that x plus 2 is a common factor, so the third step is to remove that common factor from these terms, giving us x plus 2 as one factor, and 4x squared minus 9 as our second factor. So when we factor 4x cubed plus 8x squared minus 9x minus 18, we wind up with 4x squared minus 9 times x plus 2. And now we check the answer by multiplying the factors, and the polynomial that we get must match our original polynomial. So we get 4x squared times x, which is 4x cubed. We then get 4x squared times 2, which gives us 8x squared. Then we have negative 9 times x, which gives us negative 9x. And then we have negative 9 times positive 2, which gives us negative 18, thus confirming that our final polynomial matches our original polynomial, which means we found the correct factors, 4x squared minus 9 and x plus 2. So that is the answer to question number 2. Let's now have a look at question number 3. We were given 6x cubed minus 16x squared plus 21x minus 56. So the first step is to create two groups with common factors. So we'll group together the first two terms and group together the last two terms. 6x cubed minus 16x squared. The coefficients have a common factor of 2. The variables have a common factor of x squared, giving us 2x squared on the outside. And the second factor would then be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. X cubed divided by x squared is x. And negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. X squared divided by x squared is 1. So 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. So 6x cubed minus 16x squared gets broken down into 2x squared times 3x minus 8. And then we take a look at 21x minus 56. They have a common factor of 7. So the second factor for this group would be 21x divided by 7, which is 3x. And negative 56 divided by 7 is negative 8. So now we have a common factor of 3x minus 8. So we want to remove that common factor, giving us 3x minus 8 as one factor, and 2x squared plus 7 as our second factor. So 6x cubed minus 16x squared plus 21x minus 56 is equal to 2x squared plus 7 times 3x minus 8. And we can check the answer by multiplying these factors, giving us 2x squared times 3x, which is 6x cubed. 2x squared times negative 8 would give you negative 16x squared. 7 times 3x gives you 21x. And 7 times negative 8 is negative 56. So since our final polynomial matches our original polynomial, that confirms that the factors we wanted are 2x squared plus 7 and 3x minus 8.